This is a follow-up video to an earlier video that talked about how third parties can get the major parties to work for them. That video, I'll give a link to it right here. This video is specifically for the Libertarian Party and how we can hopefully specifically use this strategy. The Libertarian Party is in a unique position to do this strategy because in many people's eyes is socially liberal, fiscally conservative. This enables them to appeal to both Democrats and Republicans. Unlike the Green Party, it's not fiscally conservative at all. It is fiscally liberal, it's socially liberal. The only ones it can appeal to is the Democratic Party. This strategy can be used by them, but it can only be used by them in the aspect of how it can get help from the Republican Party and conservative super PACs. For libertarians, the strategy is simply this. You make TV commercials that make yourself appealing to the other party's voters. For example, right now Gary Johnson is doing this to the Democratic Party with this video where he says where he and Bernie Sanders agree. This is trying to appeal to Bernie Sanders voters to vote for him, Gary Johnson. Nicely done. Bit on the dry side. I would have more visuals in there, but by and large the idea is a good one. What Gary Johnson could also do is make a video where he appeals to just Republicans, fiscal conservative Republicans, and then the Democrats wanting to have Gary Johnson pull votes away from their Republican candidates, running that ad to do just that. The idea is to enable the Libertarian Party to be a tool for the major parties to divide and conquer the opposing party. Now, if only one of the major parties does this, then the Libertarian Party can be viewed as only helping that party. But the Libertarian Party makes TV commercials that does this against both sides. They could get both sides using these different commercials to try to divide and conquer the other side, and in the process get more and more voters for the Libertarian Party. But I believe the most effective way in what this video is about is to approach super PACs, that's political action committees, to get the funding for this. I don't think the major political parties will do this strategy because they might correctly surmise that it will undercut them in the long run. Super PACs are mainly focused on this election, and they also have the advantage of being independent of the party establishment to a certain degree. A lot of these super PACs are playthings for billionaires. This is how they get involved in politics, how they try to persuade it. And that's both done on the conservative side and the liberal side and the libertarian side. On the libertarian side, there's the Koch brothers. Charles Koch even ran as the vice president candidate for the Libertarian Party. On the liberal side, there's George Soros. On the conservative side, oh my gosh, there's just so many. Look up conservative super PAC billionaires and you'll find a long list of them. I believe if the Libertarian Party were to do this right, they should, as early as possible, or rather, it doesn't have to be the Libertarian Party. It can just be Libertarian candidates. And maybe that's how I will word the title for this video, is how Libertarian candidates can pit the major party super PACs against each other. You don't need Libertarian Party blessing to do this. Unfortunately, my dealings with the National Libertarian Party have not been that favorable. But you don't need their blessing to do something like this if you're a Libertarian candidate. If in 2018 I am in a position in my life where it would be a positive thing for me to run for office, I might do so here in Iowa, or I may go back to Wisconsin and do so there. And I'll probably be using this tactic. Now what this requires is that you make up these ads beforehand, and you go and you talk to these super PACs. Now you can do it against a generic Democratic candidate. I believe the more you can be specific in a commercial, the better. Gary Johnson's appeal to Bernie Sanders talks directly about Bernie Sanders and talks directly about Hillary Clinton. So if you were to do this, not just at a national level, you can do this and probably very effectively at a state and even local level, county level. As soon as it appears that candidate is a viable candidate that might win their primary, etc., you can do research on that candidate and see where you and that candidate agree. And then you make a video about how Libertarian agrees with that candidate on these issues. And at the very end, merely acknowledge that there are other issues that you don't agree with, but acknowledge them like they did in the Gary Johnson ad, and just as quickly as possible, and throw all of them into one little category, and then move on. So you'd have to look up the voting records for, say, if you were a Libertarian candidate and you want to do an ad against a Democrat candidate, you look up her record and find out where she has voted for things that you are in favor of. And then make a commercial saying, here's where we agree. Then you take that commercial and you go to a Republican super PAC and saying, I'm going to make this commercial available when I officially announce my candidacy. If you want to run this commercial however you like to run it, you are free to do so. Then you're doing the same thing against the likely Republican candidates. Go through their records, find out where you agree with them, and then at the very end, quickly and in as short as and hopefully singular of a point, acknowledge that you don't agree on issues, certain issues. Right. If you're doing this against a Democrat candidate, you can really say you disagree with them about the role of government, as Gary Johnson did in his video. And I can't link, I went like this, I can't link to the same video twice in a video on YouTube. So sorry about that. But for, if you're doing a commercial that would essentially be used by the Democrats against a Republican, you bring up all the fiscally conservative position that Republican has, and they, oh, I agree with those. I agree also like on gun rights. And then you merely say, now there are social issues where we disagree with, where they believe that government has a right to come into your bedroom. But on all these other issues, I do agree with. In other words, quickly move on to the point. And then just constantly make these new videos available. Find yourself an advertising agency that basically enables people to pick and choose the videos that the campaign ads that they like to donate to, and even allow them to pick and choose where they like those commercials to run. This enables the super PACs to come in and saying, I'd like to donate $1 million to this one commercial, and I'd like to, let's say it was against a Democrat. I'd like to then have it run on MSNBC, CNN, Saturday Night Live, and The Daily Show on the Comedy Channel. Boom. Now you have a huge advertising budget, and it costs you just what it costs you to make the ad. If I ever run for office on the Libertarian Party ticket, this is exactly the strategy I will very likely be taking. It's almost a jiu-jitsu move, using the major parties against each other. They'll view you as a pool to divide and conquer, and then once one side uses you, once like liberal, far left super PAC were to use your anti-Republican commercial, the conservative super PACs might feel they need to retaliate and then give you money for your anti-Democratic commercial campaign, your commercial, and then you get them to essentially having a shooting war where they're using their own bullets and you just provided the guns, and you could end up with a larger and larger size of the vote. Right now, the Libertarian Party, a vote for the Libertarian Party is very important because it will enable them, at least here in Iowa, to gain major party status, so in 2018 they can be part of the primaries, and then if they get at least 2% of the vote in 2018, they can run their own caucuses in 2020. I talk about the importance of that in this video. So I believe this is a strategy that every Libertarian candidate, not this year's, I think it's too late. I think you couldn't, maybe one can rush it. But my subscribers are only 26, and I doubt if any of you are libertarian political candidates. But this is something that, for 2018, 2020, could be seriously looked into by Libertarian Party candidates. And that's kind of who I'm making this video for. A lot of these videos I'm making now is not so much for the election right now. It's in less than a month before election day, but it's more getting the Libertarian Party ready for 2018 and 2020. Anyways, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please subscribe. When subscribing, to the left of the subscribe button, there's a bell icon. Please click on that and select one of the two notification systems, text or email. The reason why you should do that is I produce videos as news happens, and some days I produce more than one video. Today, this is already my 5th video I've made today. And then I may release more than one video in a day, and that will alert you when I have done so. Also, when my mailing list gets to 100 subscribers or more, I'm going to start producing an unlisted weekly video where I reply to last week's batch of comments posted to last week's batch of public videos. So that came out really jumbled. If you'd like to see these reply to comment videos, in the description below is a link to the mailing list sign-up form. Please subscribe. See you tomorrow. Bye.